Pastor Chris Oyakhilome says you can't believe in Jesus and be afraid of touching coronavirus patients. Pastor Chris Oyakhilome is again lashed out at church leaders following the ban on religious gathering, which is yet to be lifted due to increased number of coronavirus cases in the country. In a televised service, the founder of Love World Ministries, aka Christ Embassy, Pastor Chris, stated that one can't believe in Jesus and be afraid of touching coronavirus patients and other viruses.
You cannot believe in Jesus Christ and be afraid of viruses. Jesus touched the lepers. He touched the lepers and healed them. Because the Bible is clear. But these people who are afraid are pretending to represent Christians to the government.
He reiterated his claim of churches still being shut because some church leaders have insisted that for places of worship to reopen, health guidelines he, Pastor Chris, described as wicked must be observed.
It's a shame. I think the government leaders are laughing at them. Because if you are a Christian and you say you are a minister of the gospel, what gospel? What you have no gospel. If you are afraid of a virus, you have no gospel. Your gospel has ended. Yes. The moment you began to give such guidelines to people in the church, you repudiated your faith in Christ.
Some of the guidelines include wearing of gloves to lay hands on the sick and suspension of communion. Pastor Chris insisted that what church leaders are inadvertently planning is persecution of Christians, as leaders in the country might currently be mocking Christians.
It's as simple as that. Once you started telling the churches that they should listen to science and which was not science, your false science, pseudo science, telling them to listen to this kind of thing, the moment you started that, backslid. So I tell you that many of those ministers, they need prayers. They need prayers, and we have to pray for many pastors and leaders who are scared of the disease, and they are the ones that are actually, maybe you don't know this, the reason many churches are still shut down is not just because of government, it's because of the church leaders who insisted to government not to let the churches open, except the churches follow these wicked guidelines. They are wicked guidelines that if you want to lay hands, one of those guidelines, if you want to lay hands on the sick, you should wear a glove to lay hands on the sick. This is crazy. And that Holy Communion should be suspended. Holy Communion that Jesus told us to take, we are told to suspend them because of a pandemic. This is crazy. You see, God's people need to realize what is going on. I spoke to a group of pastors recently, and what I said to them was, what they're planning is unknown to them. The ultimate tool for persecution, so that the churches and the Christians that decide that they will follow Jesus Christ with all their hearts will now be singled out and persecuted. And who will persecute them? The same people that persecuted Jesus. They were the religious crowd, the Pharisees of today. They are the ones preparing to persecute their brothers and sisters, because they have told government that they are ready to supervise. How will they supervise? By sending out their members with cane, or with what? To go to other churches and report the churches. They are going to be spies.
During his preaching on Friday, April 10th, the cleric said that church is not a place of infection, but where people come to get blessed. He, therefore, prayed against anything that makes people come into the church and get infected with disease.